Hey, how are you? My name is Paul and welcome to the free Crypto Secrets webinar. And I'm super excited because today I'm going to show you 3 secrets you can start implementing today to start profiting from cryptocurrency. Secrets that no one really talks about, not even the experts know about these secrets, or at the very least, don't really talk about them. And really, I'm super excited because it gives me the chance to get to know you better and also show you what I can do for you, what value I can bring to you, and possibly gain a subscriber. Now, before we get started, let's talk about this free webinar for a second. Free. Webinar. Free. Come on, you and I both know that nothing in life comes for free, and neither does this webinar. But I'm not asking for money for this webinar. All I'm asking for is a little bit of your time. See, at the end of this webinar, I actually plan to try and sell you something. I actually plan to sell you my coaching services. Now, you don't have to buy my services. It's not for everybody, and I'm certainly not going to pressure you to do so. At the end of the day, it's a simple choice, and it's your choice. A simple yes or no. But I plan to give you so much value, so many strategies, and reveal so much secrets in this webinar for you today that by the end of this webinar, not only will you want to buy my services, but you'll be throwing money at the screen, shouting that you want to buy, that you want to be part of this, that you want to work with me. Bold statement? Yes, definitely. But I'm a bold kind of guy. So let me show you what I can do. Let me show you value. Let me give you the secrets today on this free webinar. And at the end of the webinar, you can decide yes or no. Deal? Just one favor. For this webinar to work for you, for this webinar to bring you value, I do need your full attention. So if you have any distractions, like maybe a mobile phone or notifications turned on, maybe you want to turn those off. And if you have a spouse or girlfriend around, maybe you want to pay for a day at the spa, or maybe you want to send her shopping. Just give her your credit card. That usually works. And please do stay till the end of the webinar. I do have an offer for you. I know I have value to bring you. As a matter of fact, if you do stay, I'll give you an extra gift. I got an extra something for you. Whether you buy my services or not, I'm going to give you a free copy, a free digital copy of my book, The Crypto Factor. The Crypto Factor book is full of exclusive interviews and is contributed to by some of the most successful people and pioneers in the crypto industry. People like Andreas Antonopoulos, John McAfee, Roger Ver, and many more. And they don't just talk about their projects, they actually tell you and reveal what it actually takes to succeed in the cryptocurrency industry, what it takes to get ahead and actually succeed. Okay, with that said, let's get started. So secret number 1 comes to technical analysis. See, nobody's using technical analysis correctly in cryptocurrency, or at least very few people are. See, here's what's going on. When it comes to technical analysis, you have to understand that to learn technical analysis, it takes at least a few years, 2-3 years to start learning. Then in 2 or 3 years, you start learning technical analysis and using technical analysis. It takes another 2-3 years at least to get experience with technical analysis and to actually apply it. Now, this may sound like a long time. It may sound like many years, and it is. Look, if you actually think about it, it takes 5 or 6 years to become a doctor or a lawyer, maybe more, and you can actually make more money with technical analysis than a doctor or a lawyer, but it does take time to learn and master. Does that make sense? So what's my point here? Why am I saying all this? Well, it's very simple. There's pretty much 2 types of technical analysts that you may be listening to right now on YouTube, on social media, or even books. One would be traditional technical analysts, and the other would be crypto technical analysts, correct? I just crossed that out there, but it's still there, okay? Now, the issue with the crypto technical analysts is that they have not been doing it for that long. They have not mastered their craft. And you can easily see this as most people doing TA on cryptocurrency in the crypto markets are extremely young. They're what, 20, 24 years old? How long have they been doing TA for? Because they all popped up just a few years ago. How did they learn? How did they have time to master their craft? And this is quite apparent because you see them getting confused and mixing emotions in. They talk about what's going on in the markets. They talk about fundamentals. They talk about macros, and they seldom talk technicals. And when they do, they change them every day. And it's like everyone's going crazy and everyone's getting wrecked, including you. Now hear this out, because they're YouTubers, they want more views. So what they do is they do technical analysis every day. But the issue is, if you're doing TA every day, you're a day trader. This is not good for swing traders. This is not good for investors. And because they change data and because they tried to do clickbait titles, which I understand, and thumbnails to create FOMO and FUD, that's fear of missing out and fear, uncertainty, and doubt, they get you all emotional, you follow them, and you just lose it. And then they just use every single indicator and everything they think they know how to use and just throw it on the chart, and it's just a mess. As a matter of fact, it looks kind of like this. Please tell me, does this make sense to you? Because it doesn't make sense to me. Now, hear me out here, because you also have a subcategory of crypto technical analysts. Most of them are new, okay? Most people that do crypto technical analysis are new. But you have the people that don't know what they're doing, okay? They just don't know. You have the people that kind of know, okay? And then you have the people that think they know. These are the three categories in crypto for TA. Which one do you think is most dangerous? All of them. Yes, exactly. All of them for different reasons. It's just irresponsible, it's a mess, and you should be very, very wary. Now, at the same time, you have traditional technical analysts that have entered the crypto space. And these guys do have a lot of experience. They have great experience. Let me show you the problem with these guys. So you have the traditional TA guys, the traditional technical analysts. The problem is they're too experienced, okay? They're too experienced, or they're failed TA guys, failed analysts from before. They just moved on to crypto because it was easier at the time and it was a trend and it's easier to make money. So they could be going through the same three stages as the crypto technical analysts. Now, another problem with experienced technical analysts is that crypto is actually quite different than traditional markets. Yes, the psychology is there. Yes, patterns work, certain patterns work, but it keeps on changing so fast, it's so volatile that they just can't calculate the ins and outs, and that's why you see them, they get the direction correct, but they get the price wrong. Even though they can get some right, they get most of it wrong because it's so fast and volatile, and there's different things that are involved, like scam wicks and so on. It's insane. It's like we have a black swan event almost weekly in crypto, and they're not used to that. So just to give you an example, in the last bull market, if you watch my videos, I actually called for a 74K Bitcoin. We didn't quite get up there. We got to 69K. We then got the top, we went down, and I told people to get out once we broke under 52K or so. I think it was a range. It was 52K to 49K to be precise. I told people to get out here and take profits. I then called the bottom perfectly of 30K while TradFi analysts were talking about 20K. We actually did bounce from 29K something, went up, and I called the double top right here. I called that we're going to have at least a double top, and if we pass that double top, we're going to keep on going to 100 to 140K. We went all up, got the double top, passed it, but then broke down. And once we got under 59K, I told people to start getting out and being careful. And once we broke under 52K again, or was it 50K? I can't really remember. I'll just watch my videos and find out. I told everyone to exit the markets because we're going to go down. And if we break 30, we will then go to 20. Now, here's the interesting part. Most people didn't call this. As a matter of fact, Richard Hart did call the top on the day, but no one really called this. No one really saw this coming. I called a 15 to 17K bottom before it happened with a price of 15.6K for Bitcoin bottom perfectly. You can see this on Around the Blockchain, ATB videos. You can see this with my bet with Gareth Soloway. I actually won this bet. And I even said that people are going to see this as the bottom in hindsight in the beginning of 2023 and start saying this is the bottom, and people are going to be denial before that. And that worked and played out perfectly. So how did I do this? How did I come up with this? Well, it's very simple. See, I got into cryptocurrency and trading cryptocurrency early 2017, but before that, I used to teach technical analysis in the Forex industry and in the stock market industry, as well as fundamental analysis. I used to teach it for Profit Point as a sales manager, which was part of Teletrade at the time. Now, when I say I got into cryptocurrency in 2017, I wasn't just a trader or just on YouTube. I was actually working in C-level positions in the cryptocurrency industry. I was working for companies as a CMO, as a marketing director, as an advisor and consultant. So I understood exactly how cryptocurrencies worked, exactly what was going on with ICOs, because I was part of them. I did the marketing for them, and I was also the marketing director of a fully licensed and regulated crypto exchange. So a lot of these things that I predict that will happen on my YouTube channel, which I get called a fudder for, then they actually come true. It's because of experience. It's because I'm exposed to this market. I've written multiple books. Half of them are in cryptocurrency. They're in the crypto market. And because I traded cryptocurrency, but was also an investor, I learned how to do technical analysis for cryptocurrency, for this environment. Now, if you're wondering if I'm going to teach you technical analysis right now, I'm not. What I do want to tell you, though, is that TA, if you're going to do TA in cryptocurrency, I'm going to give you some advice. One piece of advice, never forget this. Let me show you. As I said, it's going to take 2-3 years for you to learn technical analysis, to start learning technical analysis. And you should. You should actually learn TA. Whether you're an investor, a swing trader, or a day trader, you should learn TA because it will help you at the very least know when to get in and when to get out, when to take profits, what risk-reward ratios are, and so on. But you have to keep it simple. You can go advanced. You can, right? You can go advanced TA, but only if you have experience in it. You're not going to sit and learn advanced technical analysis in a few years. It's going to take years. It's going to take more years to become advanced and master TA. But if you keep it simple, you can learn it pretty fast and have an understanding of it. Anything in between here is just confusing. It's just confusing and a waste of time, and it doesn't work. Listen, Bruce Lee himself said this: I don't fear the man that knows 1,000 different kicks or 10,000 different kicks. I fear the man that knows one kick but practices it 10,000 times. That's what you need to know when it comes to TA. Now, of course, there are other things you can learn quite easily when it comes to simple TA. One thing is candlesticks. Candlesticks will teach you quite a bit to see the psychology of the market. But where do you learn these? Where can you learn this TA? I'm not going to do it here. I'm not going to do a TA course for you. There's other things you need to learn. But what I do recommend for you to do is to read one book, and no, it's not my book. It's called Japanese Candlestick Charting Techniques by Steve Nissen. And this was the original guy, the original person that brought candlestick trading to the West. It did not exist before that. It was Western technical analysis. This guy brought Eastern technical analysis, which works very well. And they started using it ever since they were trading rice. And it measures human psychology. So if you're going to learn from the original, learn from the source, because I'm looking at TA on YouTube and basically they're getting it wrong. They're missing certain elements and foundations because they all read this book, but they understand it different because they're parroting everybody else. Does that make sense? So do me a favor, take a note and write this book down. I'll also send you an email reminding you of the title. So if you don't have a pen and paper, don't worry about it. But make sure you read that book if you want to do technical analysis in cryptocurrency, or at least understand it and have a foundational understanding of it. Does that make sense? Now let's move on to secret number 2, okay? This is actually quite important, so make sure you pay attention here. Every time you see a crypto influencer or YouTube influencer, they tell you to do your own research, right? They tell you to do your own research, that they're not a financial advisor, that it's not financial advice, and neither is this that we're doing here today. But no one tells you how to do your own research, do they? And look, the reason they don't tell you how to do your own research is very simple. Either A, they don't know how to do it themselves, or B, they do know how to do it, but it's so complicated and time-consuming, it's not worth putting in a video. But what no one's talking about is there is a way to do your own research in cryptocurrency, and it will only take you 10 minutes. It's simple, it's fast, and it's efficient. Let me show you. It's called the VRIN score, and this can actually be used in cryptocurrency. It can be used in sales, it can be used in interviews, it can be used for evaluating companies on stocks, it can be used for businesses, it can actually be used everywhere, and it's actually quite remarkable. So what is the VRIN score? What does VRIN stand for? VRIN stands for value, rarity, how rare something is, inimitable, if somebody could copy it, and non-substitutable. Can somebody substitute it or replace it, if you will? Okay? And what you do is you assign a score from 1 or 10 to each of these values. And then you divide that number you find, you divide X by 4. Once you do that, that will give you your VRIN score. A high number is a good opportunity, a low number is a bad opportunity. So for you to better understand this, if you have a high VRIN score in your life, in your work environment, you're getting paid quite a bit of money. If you get over a 7, you're making $250,000 to $300,000 a year maybe, right? But if you get like under a 5, you might be getting close to basic wage or a little bit over that. Now let me explain which each part of the VRIN score is so you can better understand it and assign a score to it, okay? And for an example here, let's just take a doctor. Let's take a career path, okay? Let's just take a doctor here. So what kind of value does a doctor have? Well, I'd say it's pretty high. I mean, they save lives, especially if they're a surgeon. If it's a heart surgeon, it's a pretty high VRIN score. So let's just give it an 8, for example here, okay? And there's really not wrong or right answers here. It's what you're evaluating, and you'll see why this works in just 1 second. So let's say we give value as an 8 for a doctor here. Now, how rare is it? I wouldn't say it's very rare, maybe a 6 or 7, because you do need to go to school, you do need to study for many years. Okay, so let's just put it as a 7 right here, because that's where I'm evaluating it. Is it inimitable? Can you actually copy becoming a doctor? No, you still have to go to school, you still need to have to study, you still have to go through a lot of tests and so on. So it's not very inimitable. So you have to actually be a doctor to be a doctor. So I'll put this as a 9 right here. Is it non-substitutable? Well, yes, you can't really substitute a doctor. You can find another doctor, but you can't get your secretary to fill in for your doctor, right? You can say, hey, you know what? My doctor is feeling a little bit sick today. Here, perform heart surgery. You have to actually be trained. I mean, you have to major in heart surgery. There's no enough to even be a doctor. So I would say that's pretty high up. So let's just give it a 9. So I have 9 and 9. That's 18. 25 with the 7. That's a 33 score, okay? 33 score, let's divide that by 4. And that gives an 8.25. Let's call it 8.5 VRIN score for a doctor, okay? 8.5. So it's safe to say that they're making 250, 300,000 a year. If not, they're definitely making over 100, 150,000. It all depends where you live around the world, yes? Now let's take another example. Let's take a nanny, for example, okay? A babysitter or a nanny. What kind of a value does a nanny bring? Well, I'd say it's pretty important, right? Being a nanny is important. I'm going to give you a 6. She doesn't really save lives. I mean, you can take care of your kid yourself, but I'm just going to give it a 6 here, but you can put your own score and do this with me. How rare is it? Well, no, it's not rare at all. Everybody and their mother is a nanny. I mean, it's easy to become a nanny. Yes, there is things to learn. I'm not like undermining the job position or anything like that. I'm just giving it a 3. I mean, we gave the doctor, what, a 7? Now, can you copy this? Well, yeah, it doesn't really take a lot of years to become a nanny, and many nannies don't even go to school. It depends on how important, or it depends on what kind of nanny you hire, but it's pretty easy to become a nanny. In the most part, you can just go to an agency and become a nanny. So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to give this a 2 because anybody can become a nanny. Babysitters are everywhere. We hear horror stories. I'm not saying to you this is the right thing to do, but it's true. Can she be replaced? Well, yes, she can be replaced with another nanny, a friend, a mother, your sister, your aunt, your granny can take care of the kid. They can be replaced, so it's not really that high. A 2 would be generous. So what do we have here? 6 and 3, we have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Divide that by 4. That gives us a 3.25. Let's round it up at a 4. So it's normal for nannies not to get paid that much because their VRIN score is low. So why am I telling you all this? Where am I trying to get to? You can do this for cryptocurrencies. You can do this for crypto. You can do this for Bitcoin. You can do this for your crap coin. You can do this for Ethereum. You can literally do this, assign scores, find their VRIN score, and that way you'll know what to get in, when to get in, and how much risk and how much you should invest in that specific project. Does that make sense? Now let me show you something else because this is extremely important, and this is something that's just gonna blow your mind right now, okay? Check this out. Okay, look, most people wanna get rich in crypto, which is normal. Crypto is fast, it's volatile, it's exciting. It's actually somewhere we get addicted to. We get addicted to cryptocurrency because we get addicted to the feeling that we can get rich overnight. But the truth is, getting rich with crypto is not about picking the right coin or getting rich overnight or hodling for many, many years trying to become rich and waiting like they tell you. It's not about hodling long term. That's not the case because you can get wrecked whenever there's a bear market and you might need that money to take it out, so that doesn't really work. It's also not about getting rich overnight, just waking up one morning and being a millionaire, although I do admit that does happen. And it's not about luck either, believe it or not. Okay? Let me show you how to get rich with cryptocurrency, and it's called the numbers game, okay? It's called the numbers game, and this is probably one of the most important things you're gonna see in your life when it comes to making money, whether it's in crypto, whether it's in anything, okay? Are you ready? You start with a number, let's say 100 or 1,000, okay? Let's start with 1,000, and let's say this is $1,000. Now, I warn you, this is going to sound simple, but once you see this and you understand this, it's going to change your whole perspective on cryptocurrency, okay? Just bear with me here. All you need to do is focus on making this double, on getting a 2x, so that 1,000 becomes 2,000, okay? Now you have more money to work with. You want a 2x again. Now it's 4,000. It becomes 8,000. It becomes 16,000, and then it becomes 32,000 in just 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 6. Well, no, 5 because you start from 2,000, right? So it becomes 32,000. But now here's the magic. All you need to do is 2x a few more times. That 32,000 becomes 64,000. Then it becomes 128,000. Then it becomes 256,000. Before you know it, you're at 500,000, and 2x of that is 1 million. You just need to 2x, and every single time you have more money to play with. Everyone's going for that 10x, 5x, 50x, 1000x. No, 2x. Take profits. Now you have money to work with. It's easier to 2x again at each stage than try to make this money all at the same time by any other system. This alone should open up your mind so you can understand the strategy and concept of becoming a millionaire with cryptocurrency. It's just a game, and it's a game with anything in life, not just crypto, but your other investments, your savings, whatever you want. It's just a numbers game, just 2x each time. As soon as you 2x, stop, put it to the side, think, what can I do now? Because having this in mind, I'll give you a real life example, I'll give you a crypto example. In real life, if you have $1,000, to get to $2,000 will require a different strategy, or you can do different things. And if you have $4,000 to get to $8,000, you can't use what you have with $4,000 when you only have $1,000 because you don't have the budget for it. Does that make sense? So if you're in cryptocurrency, for example, at the beginning of a bull market, and all you need is a 2x, you can get on something like Bitcoin, then wait for it to get to 2x, then stop, reevaluate, and then you can see if you need to go with Bitcoin again, depending where in the market you are and how high Bitcoin has gone up, or if you get into altcoins or even meme coins, depending on the timing of the cycle and other factors. Does that make sense? Does that click? Do you see this? Now bear with me, because as I promised, I have a gift for you and I want to give you that gift. But let me ask you something and be real honest right here, okay? How many of you feel like this right now? Look, I know this stuff can be overwhelming. I know it can be confusing. And even though you got a lot of value from this webinar, you probably now have more questions, more gaps, and want to learn more, yes? So let me ask you a question right here. If you could work with me one-on-one, if you can have me working with you over your shoulder, would you like that? I mean, imagine me sitting down with you and being able to guide you step by step, answering your questions, showing you how things work, and guiding you in this industry. It would be like having a mentor, so to speak, or even a mentor in this industry. Would that be something you would want to do? Would that be something that would be of value for you? Yes? Well, I have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news is that right now, coaching with me, one-on-one coaching and one-on-one calls with me is actually available. You can actually do that. So if you want to, you could literally start working with me today. The bad news, I can't work with everybody. It's just impossible. Let me explain. See, until not too long ago, my services were only available for companies, for cryptocurrency companies and projects. I didn't work with individuals one-on-one because, quite frankly, I didn't have the time, and companies, they paid more, much more. But the reason I didn't have time is because I was working in C-level positions for companies, or at times I was working as a consultant for companies. And this all suddenly came to a halt. It stopped when I got cancer for the third time. See, the last time I got cancer, although I'm here now, I got chemotherapy and then was in hospital for 40 days. 40 days where I actually almost died. I was getting CAR-T therapy, and if you look it up, if you do some research, it's extremely, extremely daunting, dangerous, and it just takes a lot out of you. And to be quite frank, it took a lot out of me. I mean, there was a pretty big chance I wouldn't even make it out of hospital. I remember losing my memory. I couldn't even remember my name. And this got me thinking. This got me thinking not only about what I want to do in life, but also what I'm willing to do in life. And working high-stress C-level positions just isn't something I want to do. I don't think it's good for me, and I don't think it's good for my health, at least not anymore. So long story short, I now have more time and I'm available because I don't work for companies anymore. Does that make sense? So I'm available for one-on-one calls and coaching calls. But two very important things here, two very important points here that you have to know. Number one, I can only handle so many coaching calls. There's only so much time in the day, and I need to balance my life out. I want to spend time with my girlfriend. I want to spend time with my puppy. I mean, I've been through a lot, and I really want to balance things out. Number two, as we get closer to the Bitcoin halving, more companies are reaching out to work with me. And I'm not talking about working at C-level positions and working for these companies, but these companies also require coaching and they also want advisorship. And look, training sales and marketing teams for cryptocurrency companies actually pays very, very well. And even though I would rather work with you, I would rather work one-to-one and not with these companies, it does make more financial sense for me to work with them. Which brings me to my offer. Today I have an exclusive offer for you. For those of you that want to work with me, if you want to work with me today, I have a special early bird price for my coaching or one-on-one call, whatever you want to call it. We can talk about whatever you don't understand in crypto. We can talk about your portfolio. We can talk about how to use DeFi, whatever. You can start today. And you will also get an early bird price, meaning you will get a much lower price than what the price is gonna be set at later on. If you wanna work with me, you have to be able to answer these 4 questions. If you can't answer one of these 4 questions, we can't work with each other. The service will then not be for you. Number 1, do you like what you've seen today? Do you like what I showed you? Because if you don't like it or you don't like me, then this is not for you. Number 2, can you use what I showed you today? Can you actually use it to change your life, to be able to succeed in cryptocurrency? Because you might like it, but if you can't use it, it's not for you. There's no point. Third of all, do you understand it? Because if you don't understand it, I'm not going to give it to you. I mean, I'm selling one-on-one coaching here. I want to help you, not confuse you. And finally, can you afford it? Because if you can't afford it, you can't have it. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a business transaction. This is a win-to-win transaction. I mean, I'm nice, but not that nice. You have to be able to afford it. Now, if you like it, if you can use it, if you understand it, and you can afford it, then congratulations, we can start working right away. All you have to do is click the link down below. I'm super excited. Let's get started. If not, that's okay. I understand this program is not for everybody. I will still give you your free digital copy of the Crypto Factor expected in your email tomorrow. Hopefully I give you a lot of value and maybe you can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. The only thing I want to ask of you today as a favor, I really want you to do this for me, but also yourself, is give me a yes or a no. Don't just sit there thinking to yourself silly excuses in the lines of, I gotta think about it, I gotta ask my wife, I gotta ask my big yellow canary. These are excuses. You're just confusing yourself. See, about 20 years ago, I actually went back to the UK on vacation. Don't ask me why. And I was actually walking on Oxford Street, and I needed a jacket. It's cold in the UK. So as I was walking, I saw in a shop window, I saw this jacket. This wasn't just any jacket though. This was a beautiful jacket. So I went inside, I looked at it. It was leather, but suede. It was black, but not just black. It was deep black. I put it on, it felt so good, it draped, I looked in the mirror, I just looked amazing, like the Greek god I am. So naturally I asked how much it costs, and Jane, which was a saleswoman at the time, actually told me how much it costs. £2,750. I slowly took the jacket off. I very gently gave it back to the saleswoman, and I said, Jane, do you take credit cards? She said, yes. I'd be like, okay, I don't have my credit card with me right now. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna think about it. I'll be right back. Do you think I went back? No, of course not. And neither will you. I mean, look, if you click the link down below and the price looks too expensive for you right now at the early bird price, imagine how expensive it's going to look later on when the price goes up. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate you. Click the link down below to start working with me, or I'll see you in the next video. Take care.